quite a few.
Oh, those are the ones you have yet to do? Or no, that's what you've done. Okay,
Yeah.
you
So,
just ventured out of the Twin Cities?
no, I need to go to Fargo. Because my whole
You're stopping around.
office in my profit territory.
So, okay.
Yeah, they're
They need to get
ran on the whole.
But,
I mean, the referral opportunity is huge. $100 a month.
That is really huge. That's really huge. In fact, I'm gonna work that into my recruiting presentation. You know, or just like when I'm talking to people about some of the opportunities with KU.
Huge. Yeah, I mean, even if it covered your monthly bill at the office, like, whatever.
Right, yeah. Oh, that's so super smart. We need to get a couple success stories in here, so. Fire some people up on getting that going. So good.
Cool. I'm gonna take off. No, I'm gonna take off. Hit the Dynasty team.
You got your clicker. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Perry.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, sir. Good to see you.
Oh, yes, of
You
course.
too. Question for you.
Yes, sir.
Who are you coaching as far
What's
as,
today?
other businesses
What's
and
today?
stuff
Oh,
like that?
oh,
You're talking about the MAPS coaching and
Yeah.
getting other-
Every, like, any industry, we're open to.
Okay.
I mean, just not realtors.
Okay, right.
So everybody, anybody else, like I.
And what are you looking for in a coach?
To be a coach.
Yes, not for me, but I have someone in mind that,
Someone who, you know, is passionate about helping people succeed, learning based,
okay.
influential.
And is this like a full-time gig? Is it? I
Doesn't
mean-
have to be.
Okay,
Doesn't have to be. Costs about $2,000 to become a coach.
okay,
And there's no additional requirements after that.
okay.
And you make, you know, depending on what you charge, $1,000 fine. And you can coach as many or as little as you want.
Okay. And then each call is like an hour,
30 minutes.
30 minutes?
Well, depending on what you charge, but yeah, typically 30
Yeah,
minutes.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. And when I talk to this guy, I can have him reach out to you, I can have
Yeah.
kind of the
So
same thing, I'll have you reach out to him.
yeah. So I always like to. It's just like with referrals. I like to be in charge of the reaching out. So say I'll have him reach out.
Yep.
And then just text me or call or email or Facebook or whatever.
Okay,
Happy to help.
absolutely, appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you.
I actually could have done every day this week, but Friday.
Okay, see
Okay, Jamie's supposed to be tomorrow, maybe I'll just see if she can switch. Because it doesn't follow a sequence where you're like, oh my god, now we're totally screwed up. Okay, let me see what she says. And I wouldn't worry about the curriculum portion of it. Punting.
I can punt.
It's okay.
Yeah, let me know.
Okay.
Let's see, today's Wednesday, so let me know
Yes.
ASAP.
Yes.
Am I the only one doing the?
Well, it's not for Aiden.
Oh, because it's time
Two
to,
people are.
yeah. Hi, Judy, it's Tony Cater. I'm good, how are you? Good, good. I called and left a message. Did you not get the other day, yesterday? Did you? Okay, okay. So, updates are the cash buyer is just out in the wind. I've been messaging his agent. He said no updates, so I don't know what's going on with that. The other buyer came back, so we're at 349.9, right? They came in at 300. We countered at 345. They came back at 305. So they're matching our move. I did just get a message from the agent that their house, she thinks they have their house sold. And so they could move that. They had an honor before like the end of September that they could move that up. I'm hoping there's more motivation there if they have an offer on their house that maybe they're willing to play more reasonable ball kind of thing. So I'm calling to see if we want to counter their 305. Okay. I know you do. This is my concern, hon. And this is the reality is your home is exposed to everyone looking to buy the home. And so, and what we're seeing is multiple offers on most homes. I just listed a house at 475 and in Farmington, and we got multiple offers and sold for well over asking price. The fact that we don't have any other offers on this house and have continued the price reduction we got in a bunch of showings, but everyone just keeps saying the layout doesn't work for them, the layout doesn't work for them, the layout doesn't work for them. I don't know, and I'm just being super honest, I don't know that you're going to get more than, I mean, you're going to get what the market will hold. And because your square footage is smaller than the other ones that are multi-level like yours, I think it's just, we're at a point that people are either going to wait for bigger ones or they're going to go buy new. And I'm concerned, I know you don't want to sit in a glass home, I am concerned that we're not going to, and I'm trying to get you every penny, obviously. And that's the job you hired me to do. But I am concerned, I am concerned that I know you need every penny, but if no one will buy it for more, no one will buy it for more, right? I mean, and that's where we're at is we've had thousands of people look at it online. I've followed up with hundreds of people who have clicked on it. We have had, I want to say now 20 to 25 showings and 6 open houses. And it's a lot of activity generated and nobody willing to pay the price. So that's where my concern is. I think we have somebody who wants to buy it. The floor plan works for them. And though you don't want to reduce your price anymore, I think I would strongly encourage you to negotiate with these people because I'm not sure that I don't suggest you would on that loan. I mean, the fact is if we had it listed at 300, it would sell all day long and then some, right? I mean, that's just reality. I don't agree with their number, but I think now if we know their home is sold, I would encourage us to come back with another counter and see if we can get them to move up into the, into a more reasonable. So, okay, let's try it, right? So 340 and closing end of August. Okay, that way we get it off here. Okay, let me see what I can do. All right, I'll be in touch. Yep, bye-bye. So I went on to the Second Chance Coalition. Kevin was speaking this morning, right? And so it's a Zoom call, right? I'm in the background. Everybody has their video up. I can't see how many people are on there or whatever, just the way I had it clicked. And so he told the most eloquent stories to help them.
Oh, okay.
He was 10 years old riding a bike.
Okay. There's spots of work. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I don't know if we can find any of those ones that are like
you know, kind of that plasticky finish, Ron, that are just pre-finished with white. Yeah, because I think that'll be a cheaper route to go than having to, you know, buy and paint them and put them on. You know what I mean? So
Did you wrap?
Yeah, I did. I changed out some of the hardware, Ron, but a couple of those doors were kind of jacked up. I mean, I went and adjusted them all, and they were all working fine. But you know, I probably don't treat it like a renter does. You know, so take a look, because at the end of the day, Ron, just pissing around with adjusting them, I'm going to end up with the same frickin' phone call over and over again. So, and then shame on me, I should have been smart enough just to change out that darn window in the garage. I guess she tried to open it and the damn window broke. So, when you're there, maybe measure that opening, Ron, and I'll see if I can get somebody to swap that window out. Yeah, okay. All right, yeah, take a look, and whenever you go out there, and we'll get those last few items cleaned up, and hopefully I'm done with that thing. I'm tired of getting calls on it, so. Richfield? Okay. Okay, let's get, I don't know if, what's his name got the egress window inspected, so let's get that. Let's get him out there for that too. Yep. Okay. Huh. Okay, all right. Okay, all right. Yep. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I've got to get that painter out there, because I think we're just gonna do the siding, Ron. We're not gonna paint the exterior, we're gonna do the siding, but there's still some trim work that needs to be painted, so. I've got to get them to revise their number for me, and I might just see what they charge me to do the rest of that, you know, that woodwork upstairs. There's not gonna be that much more of it once the kitchen is done. Yeah, but, you know, yeah, yeah. So I'll see what they dig me on it. All right. Okay, that's all I can think of. That new garage door looks good on there. Yep, yep, it'll look sharp when it's all done, so. Okay, well, very good, Ron. Yeah, let me, do you have that gal's number? When, okay, when do you think you're gonna go back over there? Yep.
Hi, Andrea.
Yep.
I don't know if she can hear me.
Yep.
Hi, Olivia.
Oh, you're there. Okay, good. Colin's just.
I am. I'm in a. Is
No problem. Colin's just finishing a quick call here.
Okay.
there anyone else in the office?
Oh, you're the only one so far.
Okay, all right. Okay, I'll just let her know that you're gonna take a look at all those items, and you're expecting to be there early next week. Sure, that sounds good. I will do that. Okay, thanks, Ron. All right, bye.
Robert James in the 1 o'clock class today, a national instructor. Both asked us to move it to 12:15. I don't think they changed it in our calendars, but it was every Friday, so it's 12:15. Hi. Literally shoving my lunch in so fast so I can get out of my 12:30 call with my lunch gone. Did you want to go walking this weekend?
I tore my plantar fascia tendon in my foot, and so
What?
I fell out of the truck getting out and like twisted my foot. I thought it was not my ankle, right? Because I heard this huge pop in my foot. And then I thought I hurt my toe, and then the next day Paul went to rub my foot, touched it, and I was like,
Still walking as well.
well, I'm just
Maybe
starting.
you
I
should-
started soaking it in comfrey,
Yeah.
and so
Maybe we should just have confidence.
walking might be a better, or I can't do power walking, but I was able to walk 2 blocks today
Oh,
with the
no.
dog, and I'm not in pain, so it's a sign that my comfort
I'll just look at, it's no problem. It's no problem.
is
It's you and Andrea. So. Dawn is ready to.
It's right here. Wow.
So there was-
I know, it's what she only did last month because COVID, but it's everybody just kind of summertime now or, you know.
I'm good with just having a one-on-one call.
Well, you'll learn again.
Andrea.
Okay, Andrea, coming soon. Colin's teaching us, just get started here.
Okay.
I've got something that I can share with everybody today that will save me lots of time.
Hello? Hey, good, everything okay? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so if someone else calls me, I'll let them know. Is
So how's everything looking for you, Tony?
Well, okay, real estate's fantastic. Trying to find an investment or a house to move into. And being the typical buyer.
That's great to hear, Kari, period. It'll be better when these last few cases work out. No, So you're being a buyer.
Well, I'm just struggling with, right, I think it's the first step, right? It's the first one that we're so nervous.
Oh, you
about.
mean with the investment stuff?
No, not yet,
You know, it just nervous about making the wrong choice.
Okay, I'll
Right.
touch her now.
The rent seems like it's gonna make sense.
You know
We got
what?
a 25% rule and we're like freaking
Here's
out.
what you should do with the first one.
Screw up.
It's only money. At the end of the day, it's only freaking money.
Okay, so here is.
Just go make more.
I think
You
this
know,
is different from the new one.
to get.
But it's, I don't know, I'm just kidding. It was like 12
This is the other opportunity.
Because I'm here for the one before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that starts after this. So I'm just saying.
Sure.
At 7.
Yeah, I mean, I would buy a corporation
Yeah,
and then have buy-sell agreement and, I mean, ask me that question when we get going, because I think that's a really good question.
I mean, it's not something we would normally, but the size of the property that's needed is it gonna require a larger investment?
Yeah.
And there may be a little bit of time of holding costs before, but on the other side of it, the monthly rent, and they want a 2-year lease. So the potential.
I think that's a good, in the last 3 minutes, I've had 3 spam calls and texts. It's really long.
Is it,
Oh, we're-
this is 2019 calling about your health insurance?
Yeah, exactly.
Did everybody think this was at 12:15 or 12:30?
I thought it was at 12 o'clock.
Okay, well, you're early.
I thought 12:15. It's
12:15, okay, my calendar still said 12:30. We'll just have to move a little quicker because apparently there's a class at 1, so
Oh,
we'll,
yeah, and that's the class I'm coming
well, that's
for.
fine, you can be here. You can be here.
Okay, no. I'll be quiet.
No, you should participate. Can you hear us, Andrea? Hear me, Andrea?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, great.
What class are you teaching?
This is wealth building.
Okay.
So it's not really a particular class. A lot of the time it's just kind of open dialogue. Sometimes it's structured. Today it's not. So yeah, that's what it is.
Okay.
Is everybody ready to go after I send this text? Okay, so I've had a couple of requests over the last month or so for, I think at one time I had done a class or gone through something and I just threw out general pricing, rehab pricing. So I thought we could do that. Tony brought up a really good question associated with investment. So I think we should discuss that. And then I've got something to share regarding rentals as well. And maybe I'll start out with that. My advice when you are rehabbing your rental properties, do it right and don't cut corners. If the bifold doors are old and every once in a while they fall off the tracks, replace them, because you're going to get stupid calls for stupid things. Just do it right. If the property is fully redone, chances are you're not going to have issues. Every property that we rehab, we put somebody in, there's always a short period of, you know, some hiccups, a few little things that we didn't see or whatever the case may be. But generally, once we get a property going, we're good to go, because when we rehab them, we do them top to bottom. I've got one right now that we weren't going to keep, so we didn't rehab it quite to our same standard. So we're running into a few more calls than we would like to have, and it ends up costing you more than what it would cost if you just did it right in the first place.
Will you speak a little more specific, just so we?
Yeah,
Curious.
so everything just turned off, so I'm gonna get Taylor to come back in.
Hi, how are you doing? Good, how are you? Have a nice birthday? I did. Good.
More specifically, okay, so I had, oh, well, I'm dealing right now with bifold doors, believe it or not. Stupid bifold. I went in, I adjusted them all, they were working fine. Well, guess what? They fall off, they don't work, they just replace the damn bifolds. Because I've spent more time today and cost more than what it would have cost me if I just would have replaced the bifolds. I didn't run the damn water softener. Well, guess who I paid to go out and put in a water softener for me? Could have had my guy do it for, you know, 35 bucks an hour. Instead, I paid a plumber 135 bucks an hour. Just testing things like spigots, outdoor spigots. I went to turn the outdoor spigot on. Well, the water won't come out. Well, it's because the valve's off. I'll go to turn the valve off and the valve starts dripping. Well, so it's just little things like that. Go through the property, run stuff, make sure it works. It's just little things like that. Get the gutters cleaned out. Get the gutters cleaned out. Huge. What else am I dealing with in that one? Oh, I didn't really notice it even when we bought it. But I can tell now that it was brought to my attention. There was, thank you, Taylor. Are we, okay, am I on?
You're on Zoom, yeah.
We are on Zoom?
You are.
Okay.
Yep.
Andrea, can you hear me still? Might have kicked her off.
She might be, I saw her on there, I thought.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm here.
Okay, all right. Okay, what was I just talking about? What did I do wrong on that one? I didn't notice something.
Brought to your attention now.
Oh, yeah. So there was, you know, we did everything, painted every surface, including cabinets, doors, all the woodwork, everything was enameled. We painted all the walls, replaced all the carpet, all the flooring was brand new, repainted the garage, interior of the garage. And there was still just a hint of smoke smell. And I didn't really smell it, but the renter, she was just adamant that it was there. So if it's a smoker house, get the ducts cleaned, and they can do like a sanitizing clean. We ran our ozone machines in there for a while and it still didn't do it. I set the ozone machine up right next to the furnace to suck that through the entire system, still didn't do it. So it's just those little things that I've spent, everything that it's cost me to fix all these things, I know I've spent more in time and frustration and being pissed off about it than if I would have just had it done right the first time. So just do it right. Just do it right. Do it so that it's how you would live in it. Because if you don't, especially if you want to get good rent, like we got really, this thing's cash flowing like 650 bucks a month or something. And I know she'll be a good long-term renter and I know she'll take care of it. So, you know, I can swallow some inconvenience now to just get it right, but it would have been so much easier if I would have just thought of this crap before.
I got a vacancy in Eagan coming up. Probably I'll be ready. I got some work to do on it.
Yeah.
Now in the 1st of August.
Yeah.
It's vacant, so.
Another thing to think of on your rentals is frost-free spigots.
Because I can guarantee you the renter's not gonna turn the water off. Guaranteed. Hell, I don't even turn off in my own house half the time. Renter's not gonna think of it. So if you're doing any plumbing work, just get them to pop in frost-free spigots. For the $150 it costs you to do 2 of them, just do it. Just do it. What else? If you do any window trim paint, make sure you operate all the windows. Stuck windows, right? Window won't open. Oh, how hard did you crank on the crank? Well, hard enough to break it, right? Oh, air conditioner, I had one, it was winter, so we didn't run the air conditioner. And sure as shooting, the air conditioner wouldn't work, so I had the guy look at it, he said, yeah, you can probably squeeze another 5-6 years out of it. So I paid $650 for new coolant, and a week later, yeah, the air conditioner doesn't work. So that would have been $600 towards my $2,000 just to get it replaced. So now my $2,000 air conditioner is going to cost me $2,600 and frustration. So just stuff like that. If it's midlife or on and you can test it, that's one thing. But if it's getting older, just freaking do it. Just do it. Trust me. Can you tell I'm a little sour today?
My other thing is, because I've got a couple properties that have original furnace in central areas, and they still work, and I haven't, looked at every year. But I actually have them put on the Service Plus, so that if they go out,
Sure.
they're replaced. And then I actually take it off the rent to pay for that, because I can't put it on. Well, I guess I could. There is a service company that said I couldn't put them on.
Sure. Yeah, and I think it's different if you've owned the property a while, but when it's brand, when you just bought it and rehabbed it, it's just so much easier when they're there. Just get it done. Just do it. Just do it. So that one, we didn't take it to our normal level just because we were tight on numbers, and we weren't going to keep it. And then when we couldn't sell it for our number, we said, screw it, let's see what we can rent it for. And it just about fell over when we rented it for what we did. So, I mean, we're going to make way more money on it keeping it. It's just I've got to get through this phase of getting all the bugs worked out. So, Tony, you asked a really good question. Let's hit on that, and then I'll just run through this other item that I was going to hit on.
Do you want me to repeat it?
Yeah.
So my question was, would you consider buying a larger property with another couple, 2 couples going in on a property with that?
Okay, so out loud, would you consider buying with another couple? It depends.
No.
It depends. I would. I've purchased, we've got a whole pile of them with another couple. But you better know who you're getting into business with. Because when things go south, you don't want to be left holding the bag.
Do you have a contract with that other couple?
We've got a company, we've got a buy-sell agreement.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you need to
Run it like a real business.
you better, you sure better. Yep, because we're talking about a lot, you start adding up properties. It doesn't take long to hit $1 million in
If one
equity.
gets in financial problems, there's gonna be a lien thrown on that property.
Yeah.
Well, depends. It should be protected if you're holding it in the company. But, you've got to be careful, and you've got to know who you're getting into business with. And you've got to be comfortable with the inherent risks. So, like Gary Keller says, it's not an agreement, it's a disagreement. You don't need an agreement between parties, you need a disagreement, because that's the only time it comes into play is when everybody disagrees on something. So what does our disagreement say? That's what it comes down to. So I'd be a total hypocrite if I said it was a bad idea. You just have to understand what your scenario is. What's that?
Business by design be able to help kind of look.
They can help, yeah, but I mean, you know, they've got to be a little careful on that too, because they're not attorneys,
Right.
right? They can help us, they can help with general structure and ideas, but at the end of the day, you know, at the end of the day, the buy-sell agreements are not complicated. It can help to talk to somebody seasoned to make sure you're not excluding things that commonly come up, right? So, yeah, I think it's fine. You just need to know who you're dealing with. And the only way to know who you're dealing with is get into business with them for a while. And if it still works after a year or after some issues
Or a hard time.
or hard times or whatever the case is, then ask me. We're going through some crap right now on one of our properties in not the right location. And if I was not in business with the right person, I would be pulling my hair out more than I already am. So you need to know who you're dealing with.
Very good, thank you.
That answer? Okay. All right. So I thought I would just quickly go through in terms of rehab, what it is I look at, the major things I look at, the major components that I consider to be the important things to look at in a house. All right. There's probably 8 items. I'm going to add a number 8 to the list that has a bunch of sub items. But essentially, this is what I look at. And this applies to our everyday real estate, retail real estate business too, when working with buyers and sellers. So 8 categories, so to speak, that I focus on. Number 1, foundation. Number 2, electrical. Number 3, plumbing. Number 4, HVAC. Number 5, siding. Number 6, windows. Number 7, roof, soffit, and fascia. And number 8, cosmetics. And that's going to include your flooring, your kitchen, your paint, fixtures, that kind of thing. If you break it down to that, especially when you're working with buyers, if they're nervous about condition, if you break that down for them, they start to realize that, oh yeah, houses really aren't very complicated. There's not much to them. We just need to concentrate on these items. And that covers everything. There's really nothing left to cover. If you think about those items, that's it. That's all there is. So in terms of repairs, I didn't throw any numbers down for foundation just because that can be anything, right? If you have foundation issues, that can be a really easy fix to, oh my gosh, we've got big bucks involved. So if you get into foundation issues, you better have a really good foundation contractor to look at stuff for you. Because if you don't know what you're doing, you can get yourself into trouble. So let's just say foundation could be a huge red flag. And all these numbers that I'm using, I'm going to base, like this is your typical, you know, 1,400 square foot story and a half in Richfield or Minneapolis, or your 1,000 square foot Rambler in Richfield, Minneapolis type property, because, or Bloomington, you know, they've got a bunch there too. Those tend to be really good rentals, 3-bed, 2-bath, or at least a 3-1, preferably 3-2 if you can get it. And then if you've got a garage, that's great. Electrical. If we come across cloth wire, or heaven forbid knob and tube, that's in the really old stuff, but cloth wiring, ungrounded receptacles, we just do it. We just tear it all up and we redo the electrical. Expensive, but
What about
it's
all
done.
the aluminum wiring that's had additions added to it?
I would probably do it.
You would?
Yeah.
I just had a house that my niece walked away from that, I brought my electrical guy over and he figured it's gonna be about 11 grand.
Well, it's going to cost you $12,500 to do a house. That's what it'll cost you. You should be able to get a panel for that too, most likely.
What was that amount?
12.5. But then it's nice because you've got all brand new fixtures, all brand new devices. We put LED can lights, you know, in everything we do. It's way more modern. People love it, and there's value in it.
So you're talking complete wiring and all light fixtures?
Fixtures and devices. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Should be able to do it 12.5. Now, obviously, if we're talking about double the size of the house, that's going to be a different story. Most of these normally are going to have an unfinished basement. If you've got a finished basement, that might be an issue too. It'll cost you a little bit more. Plumbing. If it's got old plumbing, just, I don't know, I'm a fan of just doing it. Do the new PEX, get it done. It's not gonna burst, it's not gonna break. You know, if you do plumbing, you have a few repairs along the way. I'm not talking about sawing up floors for moving, you know, moving drains for bathrooms or anything in the basement. But if you're gonna do plumbing, you're probably gonna pay $500 to $7,500 depending on the extent. Plumbers are not cheap. HVAC, you should be able to, it's going to be a little bit more in Minneapolis and St. Paul because they think they're special and the contractors have to be licensed there. And along with that licensing in Minneapolis and St. Paul comes a license to print money. So anywhere other than Minneapolis and St. Paul, you should be able to do AC and furnace for about $2,200 to $2,500 each. And that's going to be high efficiency furnace, excuse me. That should get it done for you. If you are in Minneapolis, St. Paul, you can probably add a couple grand, if not $2,500 onto that for the pair. They're just absolute criminals.
How much do they charge me?
It'll be another $2,500. It'll be $7,500 to get a pair done. Yep. Yep.
I just had them put in central air and furnace for $3,800.
Yep. Yep. That's a good deal. Did you go high efficiency or standard?
Standard.
Okay. Yep. So there's your difference. Another couple $100 for install and probably a couple $100 for the unit tops. Siding, probably $7,500 for, you know, mid-level vinyl siding, and that should do the garage too. Should be able to do the garage with along with the house for that. Depending on the layout, if it's a Rambler, you might add $1,000 to that, just because they tend to be a little bit bigger with their footprint. We always do decent siding, because if you're going to keep it as a rental, you don't want to be dealing with it again in 10 years. The whole purpose is to get through 20 years without having to touch this thing. So, and you should be able to get that with a decent siding. Windows, you're probably looking at $500 to $550 a hole. Then that's going to be a, you know, a lower end window. Of course, sky's the limit. Don't put Andersons in your rental property. Not worth it.
That is not the cost installed.
That should be installed. Yeah, should be able to do it installed for about that.
Yeah, I just had a Rambler priced out, now only main level because we put glass block in the basements, but it was 11,000. Those are pretty nice windows.
How many windows? Probably had 15 windows.
7 big picture window and 2 doors.
Okay, the big picture window is probably $1,500,
Yeah.
if not more. So yeah, that works out pretty close. Shingles, 7,500, 10 grand, depending on, again, the layout of the property. Should be able to do it for 7,500, including the garage on like a 1.5 story. Maybe a little bit more for the Rambler, just because there's more area there. Soffit and fascia to get that wrapped in aluminum. Again, you're probably looking at that $2,500 range, give or take. I had decent vinyl siding, Softened fascia wrap, aluminum softened fascia wrap, shingles on both a 1.5-story house and a 2-car garage in Minneapolis for, I think we were right at 21 with gutter guards. Oh, there's the other one. Put gutter guards on. Absolutely put gutter guards on. You don't have to worry about the gutters being plugged if you've got gutter guards on it. And then you don't have a photo from your tenant the first night they move in with water in the basement.
You're a good patient soft person.
I've got a guy that we've used quite a bit. I'm not gonna brag about him. He's treated us all right, but I think I've sent him to Hawaii a couple times too. He better treat me well.
I gotta have some facial phone.
Yeah. I don't know, they're all so darn busy. Unless you're giving them a ton of work, you're not gonna get the good guy pricing. So, and then in terms of cosmetics, should be able to do a full kitchen, you know, again, in one of those properties like I'm describing, should be able to do a full kitchen with granite and everything for 10 grand, maybe 12 grand. Those are pretty decent cabinets, soft close, again, granite countertops. Those cabinets installed, you should be around 5 grand tops, 4,500 maybe. Granite depends on the layout and the area, but you should be able to get that done, 2,500 bucks. Decent stainless steel appliances, and I always put in decent stuff in our rentals, kind of mid-level stuff. You should be able to do your kitchen package for 3 grand. And then I never do fancy washer and dryer because the fancy ones always break anyways. Washer and dryer, you should be able to do that for about 1,000 bucks, 1,200 bucks. So what have I got there? 5, 6, 75, 10, 5 in the kitchen, and then your flooring. You should be able to do flooring, you know, good, again, mid-grade, waterproof LVT flooring in the kitchen is what we always do. Never do the glue down stuff because it gets wet, it's peeling up, and it looks like crap in no time. That you should be able to do $450 a square foot installed. And again, that's a pretty good quality product. Figure out what you like and what's readily available and just use it in every single property. That way you can call your guys and say, yep, we're doing the LVT here, we're doing the carpet there, and I'll have my guy do the hardwood floors. And everybody knows what we're doing. They know what color to paint everything, they know everything. So there you go. You're probably going to be 11 to 12 grand on your kitchen. Totally brand new. Carpet, $3 a square foot installed. Don't spend any more than that. If you are, you're spending way too much. Hardwood refinishing, you should be able to get it done for $4 a square foot. We've got a guy that does it for less. I am not going to share his name. He's a rock star. Everything it looks brand new when he's done. He is just perfect. No, oh, his stain is done perfect.
Is it Brian Clancy?
No.
And even if it was.
It would be no. LVT, we talked about $450 square foot. So I will do LVT in the entry, back entry, kitchen, and bathrooms, unless the bathroom already has tile floor that I'm going to keep. And then stairs going down, downstairs, always carpet, otherwise it feels too cold. And then upstairs on the stuff we tend to end up folding, it's almost always hardwood, original hardwood already, and we'll refinish the hardwood because compared to all of our competition, people walk into our house and they see a brand new kitchen with stainless steel appliances, granite countertops, white enamel trim, nice gray paint, gleaming hardwood floors, the bathroom's been redone. Where else are you going to find that as a rental? And people tend to take care of it better. They just, I don't, that's our experience. They just do. They're willing to pay a little bit more and they're attracted to it because it's really nice. So
It's amazing to me. I have a friend who just, we're selling her house and she just went to rent an apartment for 1 year before she buys, just to pay the tax.
Yep.
And she was like, oh my gosh, it has granite and stainless. I'm thinking, it's a rental. Why do you care? But people care.
people care.
Yeah, it's weird to me.
Well, I think my first week working with Jason, we were talking about granite versus laminate countertops. Thank you. And he says, well, I don't know, Colin. I've never had a buyer walk in a house and say, oh my God, I love those laminate countertops. And he's 100% right.
Yeah, he does.
When's the last time you've heard that?
That's true.
But how many times have you heard, oh my God, that granite is awesome? And don't go some goofy granite either. Get one that works with your color scheme and fits grays and browns. Because sooner or later, grays are going to be gone and we're going to go back to something else. So if it goes with grays and browns, you're good forever. You don't have to worry about it. And don't go extreme because that's a fad too. Stick with the stuff that stands the test of time. We do white subway tile backsplash on all of our houses, every single one. Just put up the white. I don't care what the current trend is. White subway tile always looks good. It always looks good. What have I missed here? Paint, again, for that type of home, probably $5,000. Enamel, $2,500. If it's a little bit bigger, you can tack on $1,000, but you should be pretty good in that range. And that should be for a good painter. Somebody that goes around with their putty before and doesn't just think that paint is going to hide all the imperfections. That's for a detail-oriented person.
Do you keep the counter or the cabinets? Or do you
Sometimes, but
have them?
a lot of the time what we find in those older houses is the kitchens are laid out so poorly, or they don't have a dishwasher. And by the time we're done monkeying with things, we end up with new stuff anyways.
And then do you buy the box cabinets or do you get
Yeah.
a custom cabinet?
Yeah, we go box. We get them at Lambert's in Apple Valley. We've got our standard that we use. It's $3,800, just what every project I do. $3,800, $3,600 to $3,800 for the cabinets.
And then
we
you
do.
paint or enamel some or paint some or? they
They're
come-
white. They're all white.
They're all
Yep.
fully finished.
But if we are going to keep, like we've got one right now, we're keeping the cabinets. It was laid out fine. We really couldn't do anything with the kitchen anyway, other than add a dishwasher. So we're just going to enamel those. But they're good, solid. You know, they're awesome, solid wood cabinets. So.
Solid wood rather than laminate.
Yep. Garage door, 1,000, 1,500. Should be able to do a single for 1,000 or less. Double should be 1,500. And then it all depends on what you're going to do in the basement. You know, I just framed out a basement. We framed 2/3 of the exterior walls. I framed a bedroom, a hallway, and a bathroom. Framing was $2,500. Sheetrock will probably get it done for less than $5,000 is my guess. The bathroom, when it's all done, will be $7,500, and that includes sawing up concrete to move plumbing.
Do you do the work yourself?
Oh, hell no.
That's an honest answer.
What do you pay a laborer? $35 an hour? Well, if I can sit in my office and do a couple of deals and make $500 an hour, or $200 an hour, or $100 an hour, do the math, you know, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Plus then I just get frustrated. Let them deal with the problems. I'll answer their calls and help them solve the problems. I don't wanna be there dealing with it. I don't wanna swing a freaking sledgehammer and break out the concrete. I've done that. That sucks. That sucks. I wanna flex this muscle.
Yeah,
That's the one I wanna flex.
I didn't know it's like doing it. Some guys like doing that
Yeah,
stuff.
I think people think they're saving money. That's what I think. My time is better spent going to find the next opportunity. Because if I can make $100,000 in equity on every rental I buy, how many of those do I have to find in a year to pay for my time 10 times over, you know? So, not worth it. Plus, I can't do half of it. I can't do the HVAC. I can't do the electrical. I can't do the plumbing. I can't even pull a permit for any of the stuff. I can help the guys swing hammers and demo, but I can't do any of it. So, just not worth it. And we permit everything. We make sure we permit everything. So, I mean, that's it. That's kind of that's the list.
Do you have a good tile person to recommend?
Yeah, I've got a pretty good guy. You need it for your house? I would say yes, definitely for your house. He did personal work for me. What's your phone number?
651.
Yep.
724. 4849.
724-4849.
Don't you need some hardwood forestry finish too in your house? Maybe he'll give you the name of
I can give you a guy.
My floor is
No, I have a friend.
the person who owned it just kept going over and over. So my kitchen floor is about big. I feel like it's just, but it's.
I know, it's once you get those studs under your.
But I don't know about them, some big, big.
Under
tile,
your-
it's the last layer.
Umbrella,
I
you
did
don't
so
want that,
bad, admitted.
Yeah.
you don't wanna let those.
Sometimes they let you go because they end up getting so busy they forgot who buttered their bread for years.
Yeah, I used to work for a construction company, so I understand. There's stuff can be picked up.
You know, like, you should just hire someone inside, just need someone to.
Yeah, this guy's good. He did both my
Yeah,
bathrooms.
we have, and we love it, we have the dishwasher.
This guy did my bathrooms and my backsplash and my kitchen and on my center island, so.
I need a granite countertop guy and a fascia soffit guy.
Granite, I've always used All American Granite here on Highway 13 in Burnsville.
Okay.
Go in there, go meet them. They're really nice. They do what they say they're going to do. Tell them Colin sent you.
Do you ever use 651 carpets for granite? I just did.
I have,
Yeah.
and they were pretty close to on par with my person.
Pricing?
Yeah, I don't think their product was as good. They were giving me numbers on the thinner stuff. And I've got a relationship, and I'll tell you what, if somebody treats me right, I want to honor that and give them the business, because I get pissed when they don't answer my calls. And I don't want to be the one that doesn't reciprocate. I am totally about relationships with contractors. And I don't know, people approach it differently. I've got over $100 million in heavy construction under my belt in my previous life. And I saved far more money working with contractors than I ever saved by hammering contractors because, hey, you're charging me too much here and I want you to do this over here. If they come in and they know you're going to work with them, they're going to give you fair numbers right out of the gate because they value that, because they don't like the arguments and the problems either. They don't like it any more than any of us do.
Well, and they like the referrals too.
They like the referrals.
So you general out your own, you don't.
I
you don't
will
have a
to some
general-
extent. I've got a guy that does the majority for me. I connect him with people that I want to use and he coordinates because he's there on a regular basis. He's moving away, so that's no good. We knew it was coming sooner or later. So we've got a new bunch that we're using on a couple of projects to kind of test them out. But I sat down with them, I met them right up front and let them know what my expectations are, and I wanted to know what their expectations are, and I wanted them to know how I did business. So if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I think it will. Because they actually asked me what was important to me. Nobody's ever done that before. So.
I figure I'm gonna, my husband's retiring next year, I'm gonna have my own
Oh,
handy.
boy. Good luck.
Oh, he's gotta have projects or he's not happy, so.
All right, any questions? That's all I've got on my list. All right, guys. Oh, I've done my part for the day.
Thank you, Colin.
You're welcome.
Do you need a read?
Yeah, yeah. Do I stop it?
Thank you, Colin.
I will come. You'll
take
save
care
the
of ya.
day. I
Oh,
was like, I
she's
don't know how
in
to
a
do it.
brace. Oh.
Got the boot?
Yeah.
Boot.